The Diary of a Wimpy Kid series is filled with many mysteries and lore, some even intriguing viewers to this day. So join me today as I discuss the Diary of a Wimpy Kid iceberg chart. Guys, make sure to subscribe to this video as I'm in very much need of subscribers because 99% of the people who watch me are not subscribed. So, please like and subscribe to this video. See you part 2. Also, this video is dedicated to one of my favorite YouTubers called Parallel Pipes, who actually used to have a Diary of a Wimpy Kid iceberg up on this channel, but privated it for no reason, and I hope Parallel Pipes himself could watch this video or somebody could share it to him so he could bring back the old iceberg. And I know that this content idea is pretty old and widespread, so I'm just gonna keep it short and do whatever else the other YouTubers are trying to do. And with that out of the way, let's get back into the iceberg. Layer 1, the basics. The cheese touch. So, if you have been reading or have read the first 2 Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, I mentioned something called the cheese touch. And it's basically like a virus similar to the cooties that if you get touched, you have to pass it on to someone else to get rid of it, or you could cross your fingers while someone's doing that, and it spawned one of the most cathartic moments in television history.
Cheese? Stop! Good God, man!
r/loaded diaper. So r/loaded diaper is the Reddit community behind Diary of a Wimpy Kid. It is named after Loaded Diaper, the band that Roderick hosts because most of the fans have a very huge love behind Roderick because he's such a good character. They like to discuss the book, spoilers, and even post fan fiction, some of which is good and some of which is bad. Zooey Mama. So Zooey Mama is a phrase used by the characters in the first book primarily, and it is also used as a title for Rowley Jefferson's series of comics that he put in the school newspaper in the first book. It was a common phrase if you are a Diary of a Wimpy Kid fan or have only read the first book. So yeah. The trilogies. So I don't know what this iceberg entry is referring to. It could either be the Diary of a Wimpy Kid film entry as listed on screen, the trilogies in books like The Last Straw, Dog Days, and The Ugly Truth, or it could be a specific trilogy of fan fiction, which we'll discuss later. The Long Haul. So yeah, The Long Haul is one of the most underrated books in the series, which kind of got betrayed and offhanded by its movie adaptation, which pretty much sucked because of the next entry we're going to talk about. But if it wasn't for like the massive cast swap, the movie would have performed better. Also, I think it didn't perform that well and made the book shine in a bad light because of its quote-unquote quirky social media influences, but more on that later. Hashtag not my Roderick. So hashtag not my Roderick was a massive internet meme back in the day, which was to protest the recasting of Roderick, who the producers thought was too old for the role of Roderick, because he just graduated college by then. And people are saying that an actor should, go himself, but yeah. also pretty hateful towards him, once again sending him death threats, and most people just prefer David Dobrik. I, however, don't really care, even though I at least used to support hashtag not my Roger, but the death threats were pretty bad. Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid. So the Diary of an Awesome Friendly Kid series is a book series written by Riley Jefferson, this time not Greg, and it basically tells Riley's side of the story when he and Greg were friends, and he often says that Greg mistreats him. It also has a lot of sequels and other books, the latest one being Riley Jefferson's Big Spooky Adventure, and yeah. Brace yourself as we are about to get into layer 2. So the Oxford Dictionary's definition of fan fiction is a fan project or fiction written by a fan of and featuring characters from a particular TV series, movie, etc. And the more prominent examples in the Diary of a Wimpy Kid community are, of course, you know him, you love him, Breaking Point in 25. Frank is a weirdo. So I think what this entry is referring to is that video Blink Eyes. It's called Deadbeat Dad, Frank Heffley, and that video he describes how Frank is often disappointed at almost everything Greg does, and he's also a deadbeat dad. He cheats out on his diets often, and he wants his sons to not be them, but to be like his neighbor's kids, very athletic. He also spends most of his time being a virgin, like an anime fan, and going downstairs to play with his goddamn Civil War minifigures. Fan covers. So fan covers are basically the covers for Diary of a Wimpy Kid fan fiction, as we saw earlier. For example, this one is a cover for the fan fiction called The Power Is Out, and as you see, it's a very heavily edited cover from Old School, which, by the way, is one of my favorite books. So that fan covers are buck dubs. So the buck dubs are either the international dubs of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which we'll probably get to soon, or they are just dubs of Diary of a Wimpy Kid website fan fiction. This Reddit post I found describes the dub as a fan fiction, which, by the way, I read that fan fiction. That was good dub. So yeah, mom books. So for me, I don't think this entry is mentioned so low down the iceberg because it's something that you definitely do get, like the most common knowledge, like when you read Roderick Rules. So mom bucks are like a currency that Susan devises to make the boys interact with each other, but in the end, the Greg just crashed the whole economy. The Beardos. The Beardos is basically the same thing as mom bucks. I don't know why they got mentioned so low on the iceberg, but they're just the family who is the bad guys of the long haul. Well, the book, not the movie. Also the movie, I'm sorry. Flash games. So, I don't know why it said Flash games, but it was a Flash game that was discontinued in 2011 on the UK version of the Diary of a Kid website called the Wimpy Kid Club. It was called Wimp Wars. It was basically the race to see who would get the most mom bucks and appear on the leaderboard. It wasn't anything special. r/Frick Manny. So r/Frick Manny is a subreddit dedicated to hating Manny, which is a very justified cause and you should do too. Well, because many people don't like him and treat him as a devil. It's just a funny subreddit to show your hate to Manny, and they like post memes in situations where Manny is, like for example him near the Chernobyl elephant's foot. Jeff Kitty's collage. I think what this is referring to is the collage that Jeff Kinney made back in college to end his comic Igdoof, which we'll get on in the later tiers. Roderick's Magazine. So Roderick's Magazine is also one of those that should have been up higher because it's a key part of the first book. So Roderick's Magazine is the magazine that Benny brings to school. It's just very sus because the first picture literally has a thing I can't say on YouTube or I'll get demonetized. And then Roderick gets scolded by his mom because she kind of hates him, and so yeah. Baby Gibson. So Baby Gibson is a minor character in The Meltdown, and he only appears in, and he mostly only appears in the snow battle, if you have read the book, and he's basically the only identifiable baby because of him having a tattoo on his arm and him literally being a baby forever. The Pig. So the Pig is a character from the long haul up until Diaper Overload, technically. So the characters and the family get the Pig and the long haul because Manny wins it from a contest on quote-unquote accident after he guesses the pig's weight correctly, and he is not seen after that until the Meltdown where he goes missing, and after the Meltdown he's not seen until Wrecking Ball where he literally appears in a fucking pile of toys. So yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This part 1 and part 2 will be coming out extremely shortly. Sorry for the fact that it took so long to make. I'll probably try to not delay it the next part as much. Also, the Stardew Valley Part 3 Iceberg is coming out in October or November, so stay hoping for that. As always, please like and subscribe. And he'll join our Discord server in the description of the video. See you in the next one. More weird stuff. Realistic drawings. Okay, so about the realistic drawings entry, it's about a series of realistic drawings made somewhere on the internet with an unknown source. Here's all the images that I could find of it. Do-it-yourself book. So another entry that should have been higher up on the iceberg is the do-it-yourself book, which is weird because it's an official piece of media. But the do-it-yourself book has had two variations: the original orange one and the newer beige one, which I have. And the older orange one was released sometime in 2008, while the new beige one was released closer to the end of the 2010s, early 2020s. I still have my beige one somewhere, so yeah, if I do find it, I'll probably post about it. McDonald's EK books. So the McDonald's EK books were a limited time McDonald's Happy Meal item that only released in the United Kingdom and Australia. They were like miniature version of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, and they sell on eBay for about $100 now because they're such a valued collector's item. Fan theories. So, fan theories are prevalent in every fictional media with some sort of fan base. The fan theories here, though, are ranging from anything from Greg being a sociopath, which is the most popular one, to the usual, oh no, this is imagined by the characters and the reality, and someone's secretly taking drugs. But our next entry will actually be a fan theory, so more on that later. The long haul never happened. So, this theory is actually half true. This theory is made by the YouTuber Midits, and this theory is basically that Greg got killed in the long haul by the Beardos, which I actually covered in the last video, and After that, all the books are just the 7 stages of grief, and the such. Just a pretty balloony, fan theory made up by people who are kind of bored. But if you do support it, just do. The pig appeared in Wrecking Ball. So yeah, the pig just makes a cameo in the pile of toys that Manny jumps on during the fire. And yeah, just makes a small cameo after the meltdown. Video game references. So if you didn't know already, Jeff Kinney, the writer of the Diary of a Kid books, also made Pop Tropica, which is a pretty well-known game, because if you played cool math games, you probably have played it. And yeah, he created a bunch of Diary of a Kid inspired things, because he also made that and just wanted to flex the copyright rights. Pop Tropica. Yeah, I basically have nothing to say in this entry. It's just basically like the last entry, but yeah. Crow ran a burger. So Crow ran a burger is a fellow Diary of a Kid YouTuber who gained fame and notoriety in the first few years of popularity of the series. And yeah, Crow ran a burger, if you're watching this, I would really like to collab in the future. So, the Dark Web Trilogy is a series of fanfics that are part of the same trilogy and written by the same author, and I have listened to them being read, and personally they're a bit mid, but to some of you it might be interesting, so after you watch this video you can go check them out. I'm not gay. I'm not gay was a popular quote from fanfiction 25 years later, and it's just a reaction that Rowley makes to Greg, whose game was fanfic to Rowley, and yeah, it's pretty wild. Manny's a psychopath. So, another Late Night Pies video, this time describing how Manny is a psychopath and is actually smarter than he is. And yeah, there's a lot of evidence to back that theory, like the thing that he makes for compensating Greg when he broke his Xbox 360, which then injured Rowley, and he also tried to kill the family once in Cabin Fever, and he knows how to use the switchboard, so yeah. And finally, for the last entry of this video, the weirdest fan covers. Yeah, I told you it got weird, so I can't do anything more than this as YouTube would demonetize me, but yeah. The fact that these exist literally makes my eyes bleed, and I'm surprised anyone even tried to do such a thing. The cancelled Cabin Fever film. So, this iceberg was probably written before the Christmas special aired last year, but here we are. So, this quote-unquote cancelled Christmas movie was actually in production hell through the 2010s, where Jeff Kinney announced that an animated feature film would be a special for Christmas, and it wasn't. It was in production hell for around a decade until we got the Christmas special last year, which was the third film in the animated series franchises. And it kind of sucks because I wish they did the live adaptation, because everyone kind of hates the animated versions. Diary of a Wimpy Kid is based on Jeff Kinney's life. Yes, Jeff Kinney has said that Darren Kid is based on his life, so yeah, you can go check that out on his website. Lost Media. So I couldn't find anything much on Lost Media, but I did find this cool cover of Roger Cruels in the style of the original online version of Darren Kid, and yeah, it's pretty obscure, as only a few things are quoted as Lost Media, those being the special that was released last year, which made it finally out of production hell, possibly this, which is probably fake, and some more books and YouTube poops from the early days of YouTube. Atomic Age. So Atomic Age is ironically LLB, or a fanfiction that I don't know much about. So yeah, I guess it happens somewhere in an Atomic Age where Greg gets a girlfriend and probably a lot of people die and whatever. Funko merchandise. Okay, so what this is referring to is these cursed Darren P. Kid dolls made by Funko, who might know for making Funko Pops of characters. And if we actually do get 100 or 1,000 subs, I will personally buy these and open them in a video. Now let's move on to our layer 7, below the iceberg. 8-year-old draft. So I don't know what the 8-year-old draft thing is about, so I think what it's referring to is Darren Kid The Hard Luck, which is the 8th book in the series, which took a lot of time to draft because the plot is so complicated. So, yeah. The Foot. So, The Foot is a parody of horror films in the Dog Days movie, which is just a very poorly made horror film based around, as he guessed it, a foot. Greg will always be in middle school. So yeah, Jeff Kinney has confirmed that Greg will always be in middle school. He says that he wants others, and especially kids who write fan fiction, to continue Greg's legacy over middle school, which is very weird considering there are theories as to why he is in middle school that sound absolutely absurd, like time stopping and whatever. Roderick is the only normal one. So this is yet another video by Late Night Pies, and the last one on this iceberg. So this one entails just how normal Roderick is as a character, apart from his family. So he just says that Roderick is a very good manipulator and doesn't actually mean any harm. And I do believe him fully, considering that Susan is a very bad parent, Frank is also a very bad parent, Greg has been debunked as a sociopath, Mandy is a psychopath, and Rowley is basically non-existent. Layer 8, the end. Igdoof, 1989 to 1993. So, Igdoof was a little-known piece of Darren Kid history, and Jeff Kinney created him while on the Maryland campus college, and he went on to become the de facto Greg before Greg existed, but he only lasted for 4 years, from 1989 to 1993, eventually inspiring Greg and his whole family. Monkey Jones. So, Monkey Jones was this little-known creator that made satirical anime reviews and deconstructed how Greg is a sociopath once again, similar to how Late Night Pies deconstructed his whole family. And his 2 channels got banned 6 years ago. He was like an OG YouTuber, so epic rap battles of history. So yeah, Greg has been featured in 2 rap battle videos featuring him and Anne Frank in one, and one made by the official ERB group is the one where he fights Harry Potter. So none of them he is pretty good in. So it's basically a sociopath versus Anne Frank, which is basically what happened in real life. Please don't cancel me for that. And him just fighting against Harry Potter. So I don't know. Yusuf Alanin. Again, I'm sorry for probably slaughtering that pronunciation, but Yusuf Alanin was a ripoff that was made in Turkey of like the Greg Heffley series, and they basically copied a lot of Jeff Kinney's actual drawings to make the covers, and it's mostly being advertised on Facebook, and nothing has come of it since like the 2010s, so it's basically gone by now. And finally, for our last entry, the Manny will never be televised. This is actually a very serious entry, and it refers to the George Floyd murders and the 2020 BLM protests. So, some people from Gen Z, already having related with the character of Manny from Die Wimpy Kid, made a protest on the park benches that said the Manny will not be televised with a drawing of Manny, or a drawing of Manny with the thing saying ACAB, which stands for all cops are bastards. YouTube will probably demonetize me for that, but they just want to protest in their own way. But wait, I have a bonus entry. So, this Redditor said that he had pretty bad memory of this one book from the Tales of the Crypt series, which is absolutely unrelated to Diary of a Kid, called Diary of a Stinky Dead Kid, which is basically a rip-off of it, and something Jeff Kinney would absolutely laugh at, and they tried to basically copy the success of Diary of a Kid to boost their book sales. So yeah, guys, that was the last part of the Diary of a Kid Iceberg trilogy, and I really enjoy having you guys here. I really enjoyed that we finally finished the journey. And if someone decides to make a super mix of it, I would be extremely proud, because I don't have the original video anymore. So, yeah. Please do like and subscribe so I can make more stuff to entertain you guys, and peace out.